in NFL history and led him to win the unanimous MVP award. So again, the numbers suggest that through 8 games right now, Kyler Murray is putting up a better season than Lamar Jackson did a year ago. So let's have a little fun looking at them, looking at their teams and their situations. Dominique Foxworth, I'll start with you. If you had to bet your house, that palatial estate of yours down there in our nation's capital, which one of them wins the Super Bowl first, Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray?
Oh, yeah, I think that it's Lamar Jackson because of everything that's around him. While I think that Lamar is probably more important to his offense than Kyler Murray is, I think Lamar has a lot better coaching situation, a better organization, and a phenomenal defense. I think all of those reasons make it more likely that the Ravens win a Super Bowl more in the next few years quicker than Kyler Murray, though I think Kyler Murray is probably a better young prospect than Lamar Jackson. I think that the Ravens are a better organization and a better team. When's the last time you heard of a bad Ravens team? Like, it just doesn't happen. Them and the Steelers. No. They find a way to be competitive all the time.
Unquestionably, but competitive is one thing and winning a championship is another. That's sometimes something someone just jumps up and does. But I'm interested in what you just said there quickly. You said Kyler is a better young prospect. If you were starting a team and you could start it with either one of those two guys absent anything else, which one are you taking?
I mean, my heart wants to say Lamar Jackson, but I think that my brain, obviously, like Kyler Murray, is incredibly accurate as a passer and is a dynamic runner and doesn't take nearly as many hits as Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson, and he is a great player, but if you can have a guy who can throw passes like that consistently, whip it outside the numbers with accuracy consistently, and also when he's in trouble, wiggle out of trouble and make 5 yards out of what should be a sack, and also go for a 30-yard touchdown run on occasion, like that to me seems like a better prospect to build a team around than Lamar Jackson, unfortunately.
What do you think, Ryan?
You know what? I love Dominique. You know, he comes on here, and because he has no emotional ties to the Pittsburgh Steelers, he wants to say that everything is glowing and it's great and that they'll beat the Bengals. And then he gets to his Ravens, and it's like, when have you ever seen a bad Ravens team? The Ravens are always in it. He should say what the truth is. When you ask that question, he said, you know, the Baltimore Ravens, because of everything they have around him. What he probably should have said is, if Kyler Murray right now was the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, we'd have much more confidence in them to win the Super Bowl. Period. We would. It wouldn't be a discussion. We wouldn't be sitting here talking like, you know what? Yeah, they can because the quarterback's really good, because the team's really good, and everybody loves the color purple. It looks good on uniforms. He wouldn't have said all that. He would have been like, if Kyler Murray's the quarterback of this team, I see them in the AFC Championship going toe-to-toe, head-to-head with the Kansas City Chiefs because he does add that extra dimension. And this is not knocking Lamar Jackson at all. Sometimes you got to choose between Kobe and Shaq or Penny and Shaq. Sometimes you got to choose on whether you're going to sign Weezy or Lil Turk. You got to make these decisions. And in making this decision, if you were starting your team, Kyler Murray would be your guy. It's not that I wouldn't take Lamar. It's just that with what I've seen from them, even with Lamar winning the MVP, if I had to put one at quarterback and say this guy takes X team to the championship, I'd always pick Kyler Murray first.
I don't know. I don't know which one you're insulting because I don't know who you're calling Lil Turk, but that's an insult to one of them. And also, I hate you because you know me so well. You're right. I don't want to be the one to say that because I love Lamar Jackson and I love Baltimore, where I was born, in the Ravens organization. But you're right. Kyler Murray on the Baltimore Ravens, I think, is more formidable than Lamar Jackson, as formidable as Lamar Jackson is.
I ask you, if you think every team in the NFL had a chance to make that choice, how would it fall?
I think it'd be tough. I think maybe Lamar because they've seen more of him. But, I mean, Kyler went 31 picks earlier than Lamar. He ought to be the better prospect. It's a tough one. I mean, it's like picking between deciding whether you want to agree with Ryan Clark or Dominique Foxworth. They're both so darn good. But, hey, I would take Lamar.
Yeah,
the tiebreaker for me, I mean, like, Kyler hasn't gotten any bigger since he got in the league, right? Like, that's still a concern going forward a little bit.
It does not seem to have impacted him in any adverse way. All right, guys, sit tight. I want to go through the rest of a busy day in sports. Let's get up and go. Miami Marlins Don Mattingly named National League Manager of the Year, guiding the Marlins to their first playoff appearance since 2003, despite dealing with a COVID outbreak that paused the season and ravaged the roster. His counterpart in the American League is Kevin Cash, manager of the Rays. He guided the Rays to a division title and the American League's best record at 40-20. Took the Rays all the way to the World Series, where they lost 4-2. In other news, Duke announcing yesterday it will not have fans at Cameron Indoor Stadium for men's and women's basketball home games, at least to begin the season. Games played on Duke's campus will include only essential game management personnel and broadcast media. And then this, the SEC yesterday calling off Alabama, LSU, and Texas A&M, Tennessee for this weekend because of COVID issues. This coming on the heels of Monday's decision to postpone Auburn, Mississippi State. So we have an